the Nairobi City Thunder is a team that I've been following for quite some time now. And not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video talking about the harsh truth about the Nairobi City Thunder. And in that video, I went in depth talking about the new signings that they made and also talking about the level of sparring partners, the teams that they are using to prepare for their Road to BAL campaign. And I went there in depth. So if you have not watched that video, I suggest you go and watch that video first before watching this one, because this one I'll just go in depth and it will be a continuation of where I left off. So the Road to BAL Division East, which features the Nairobi City Thunder. They're going to match up against the BAL Heat, Urunani from Burundi, GNBC from Madagascar, and JKT Stars from Tanzania. So these matchups, these 4 games, they are going to decide if the Thunder are going to make it to the Elite 16. And the biggest threat in this group must be the Urunani basketball team, because even as per recording of this video, they've just signed Marcus Christopher Crawford. I must say, I wasn't expecting that signing. I know I made a video talking about Albert Odero playing for the Urunani basketball team, but he didn't log a single finals minute. But he's now back with the Nairobi City Thunder. He came back. And also in this video, we'll also touch on the roster that the Nairobi City Thunder provided to the Road to BAL. And in this video, we'll just go in depth into that. So the BAL Heat, this is a team that the KPA Dockers decisively beat in their first go round in the BAL. And they're a team that the Thunder, if they play their cards right, they can be able to take them down. I'm not saying that all the 4 teams that the Thunder are going to match up against, they're going to be walkover teams, but the biggest threat is the Urunani basketball team. We saw what they did with that Dynamo series in that finals. They took they took that series to 7 games, Urunani, and they're a team that they're not that easy to take down. So the Nairobi City Thunder, their biggest test is that one, because I don't think the Nairobi City Thunder will just think of playing easy mode in that game. They have to bring in all hands on deck, and given that the new roster that they have, I must say it's just going to be a very, very tall ask for that roster to be able to deliver wins like that, because we are used to seeing the local Nairobi City Thunder. I don't want to say local, but it is what it is. So the new signings that they brought in. So out of the 6 players that they brought in, one of the foreign-based players who got dropped off. So there are 5 players according to the roster that is in the Road to BAL website. So in the Road to BAL website, there's a list of players that the Nairobi City Thunder have fielded, and we'll get to that in shortly. So Urunani, they're a tough team to beat. GNBC, this is a perennial team that made the BAL in season 2, but I'm not sure if they can even pose a threat like that. But JKT Stars, they'll be defending home court. They hail from Tanzania, and they're just going to be interesting matchups. And the most advantageous thing about the Nairobi City Thunder is after their first game, they'll have a rest day so they can be able to prepare adequately for Urunani. And since the Urunani matchup, they'll have a rest day there, so they can be able to figure out strategies and ways to be able to take down that team. So on to the Road to BAL roster that the Nairobi City Thunder fielded. So we have Uche. I don't want to mention the next name because I don't want to butcher it, but you've got Uche, you've got Derek Ogechi, Tyler Ongwai, Garang Ding, William Davis II, Kennedy Washira, Eugene Adera, Albert Adera, Fidel Okoth, Okal, Griffin Ligari, James Mwangi. So I did a tally, and I saw that out of the players that won the championship, only 7 players from that championship team, the team that grabbed the KBF title, the only 7 players. So one international based player, he got dropped off, and they have 5 new signings. So Uche, Derek Ogechi, Talongwai, William Davis II, and Eugene, they are the new guys that joined the squad. Albert Odero, he went to play for Urinani shortly, then he came back. So he's not been able to play with the whole team like that. And Albert, he played for Urinani on a short-term deal, so he got plugged in immediately. So it was going to be very difficult, because even in that video I mentioned that there are a couple of players who are going to get dropped off. So notable mentions that I must say got dropped off. We are not seeing Fahim Juma there, so that was actually quite concerning, because he has had one of his best seasons. One shocking name that I've seen is James Mwangi. I don't know what James Mwangi is doing there. I don't know. I mean, he's not a player that is that productive. He's not a person that you can actually rely on to win games for you. So I'm not even sure what he's doing there. So the solid signings that I must say the Thunder made, of course, out of the 6 signings, they had 5 of them. And given the way the Nairobi Thunder have been able to mangle their roster, they only retained 7 players from the actual championship team. So chemistry-wise, are you confident that they can be able to get the job done? Because I know it's very important to retool, and it's very important to have the roster to be able to compete. But there are 2 ways to look at it. So we have Olang Derek, he didn't make it. Fahim Juma didn't make it. Dismas Mbaka didn't make it. Dima didn't make it. So we have a couple of players that didn't make the final cut, and it was because of the new signings that are brought in. Because as per roster construction goes, if you bring in a new player, a player that was already in the team, there's a decision that has to be made to cut them out of the team, because it's a 12-man roster. It's not a 15-man, 18-man roster. It's only a 12-man roster. There's a 12-man team that's going to go and play there. So a new player being brought in, that means a player that was in the squad is going to get cut. So, man, it's a very, very tough business. But anyway, looking at even that move that the Thunder have been able to go about and decide that they're going to move with these players in their first go-around, this means that this is an all-in situation for them. Because if they're not able to make it with this roster that they have designed and tailored to play in Road to BAL, will they be able to make it the next time? Or will we call it a failed season? Because if the Thunder don't make the BAL, we can call it a failed season, because they had all the money, all the time to be able to practice and get the team ready and make key signings, but still, we're not even if they're not able to get the job done and grab one of the 4 slots available. I must say that this can end up being a very bad and failed season. So it is what it is. So in my book, if they don't make it, it's a failed season. And I've seen a couple of people react to a post that I made, and quite frankly, I'm just laughing, because this is part of the business. This is when you bring in new players, a couple of players are going to get cut. So even when I made that post, immediately when I saw the list, so the remaining players will go cut from the Nairobi Thunder rotation to create space for the new signings. We'll have to settle for the Street League playoffs, which are currently going on, being used to win the KBF title, then dropped when it matters, the biggest form of disrespect. So that's the whole premise of my post. And I had a couple of people who commented, and I really laugh. So one of the people that I must even mention is Coach Abel, who is somebody that is a veteran coach. He has coached the national team. He has a ladies team in the Premier League. And it's funny to me that this is a man that all that knowledge that he has, he's reduced to making stupid comments like this. So you see, it's life. You can't focus on the noisemakers. You just do as you deem fit and move on regardless. So this is a cartel posting, and his opinion is very much irrelevant at this point, because he doesn't even back it up with facts. So he's saying that it's okay to have players go in with the team at the beginning of the season last year, and when they won the championship, they don't need you anymore. You get cut from the team and bring in mercenaries to come and help you get to that next level. So this is something that should not happen and shouldn't be happening like that. I would have accepted it if they only brought in like 3 or 4 new players. But even with the foreign signings that they brought in, out of the 3, they only managed to get 2 of them. So the thing is, the players who got left out and they are left to play street league, my advice to you is, look for another team, because even if you help the Thunder win the season next season, you will still not get picked because they'll still do the same thing. And there's this standard that Kenyan basketball teams have had. I've seen KPA do it, and right now you're seeing the Nairobi Thunder do it. So KPA, they were fortunate enough to make the road to BAL 3 times. Ulinzi only made it 1 time, and then the Thunder right now, this is their first time doing it. So this standard of our team is not good enough, let's bring in 3 international players who, number one, they don't understand the culture of the team, they don't understand the culture of Kenyan basketball, they don't know anything with regards to African basketball. Let's say you've brought in like 2 Americans to come and play for you. They don't understand the journey. So even when they mess up during the game, even when they commit careless mistakes in the game, you won't even hold them accountable like that, because they don't understand it. They'll be like, it's a game, that's how they operate. But for somebody who has understood the journey, they can be able to understand, hey, look, this is a place where I can't be afforded to make mistakes like this. So they'll be much more careful with the basketball if they're moving on. So those are the things that the international players don't understand. Even when you try to even bring in new signings, I've seen you brought in Tyler Ongwae, Derek Ogechi, you brought in Alberto Dero, not even Alberto Dero, but Eugene Adera. Alberto Dero was there during the regular season, so yeah. And he took a short hiatus to play for United, now he's back. And now he's going to play a team that he played for in his short-term loan. So, I mean, it's it's crazy. So, you're bringing in new players, right, who have not bought into the Thunder culture and have not bought into the team chemistry. I know they played 2 games, but if you look at the games, they were just more of ego-boosting games. They're just trying to show you that, we can still do it, you can still do this, do that. You played the Kenya All-Stars, a team that we didn't know existed. You played South Sudanese local-based players, a game that didn't even make any sense game-wise. And those are the 2 games that they're going to you put in their mind that they're going to win it. So, I mean, again, there's a lot of holes, especially when it comes to their training. I know they've been going hard on training, but there's a big difference between what you do in training camp and what you do in the actual games when it matters. Because in the actual games, you can't make mistakes like that. So, I mean, it's crazy, man. But the Nairobi Thunder, are you confident? People in the comment section, are you confident with the Nairobi Thunder moves? Because as far as I'm concerned, there are not too much expectations on this team, because they have already altered the squad. 7 players out of it's only 7 players from the championship roster that are being brought in for this Road to BAL campaign, and 5 new players have been brought in, and you have not seen this team log in as much minutes as we have seen them. So, are you that confident with this team? I'm not casting any doubt on them, because number one, I'm rooting for them 100%. It's been a long time coming, having one of the strongest Kenyan teams to be able to make it to the BAL. I know KPA and Ulinzi have wet the bed year in, year out, and they have not shown that they have what it takes to be able to play in the BAL. And right now, the Nairobi Thunder, they are our last resort. If this squad does not make it, I'm waiting to see the excuses that are going to be made by the Nairobi Thunder. If this team does not make it past the Elite 16 and may even make it to the finals, because this is a championship, not even a championship, this is a Road to BAL, a championship or bust. It's either BAL or we are out. So I want to say excuses they're going to drop, because I know a lot of people are going to say when they lose, they'll be like, hey, look, it's their first time, or this or that. But hey, I'll just be there to tell you the truth. Because if this team loses with this squad, it's going to be one of the biggest bottle jobs we have seen in recent times. Because the Thunder are the team with the most money. They get whoever they want. And right now they have no excuse. If you go with a roster that you've mangled like this, that means that you want to win. And if you can't win with this roster, what else do you need? So that's the main question. So I know a lot of the Thunder team, the Thunder fans, Kenyan basketball fans, I know even KBF are listening into this. So if they lose, what excuse will you make for them? Or what excuse do you expect them to drop? Because right now, this is a no excuses roster. If they don't make it with this roster, this is a failed season. So tell me what you think in the comment section down below on what you think about the Nairobi Thunder. I was thinking about making this video in my long hiatus, but I said, you know what? Let me just go freestyle it and just tell you as it is. And with that one, like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in the next. And also, make sure to check out the Facebook group. It had 52,000 members. If you want African basketball updates, make sure to check that one out. Follow me on X, Instagram at NBA Kenya. On X, it's Nderitu. So make sure to check out I post a lot of there, especially on Instagram, Facebook. Facebook is Nderitu Basketball, the page. Yeah, man. And like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.